So yesterday we talked about the get and post in rest assured, right? And then the last one which we were working on was schema validation. And we had a lot of issues here. We spent almost, is it 30 minutes or more? Right? First of all, to get the schema, and then second of all, to get the schema validation, right? So, the schema which I looked up yesterday is still the same. So, this schema is written according to what kind of response you get. When we did the post method to register users, we were able to get a message part and a token part. So what schema validation is trying to do is trying to structure your response such that you know what exactly to expect. We are expecting some object, so we say type object. And what is the properties of this object? The first property is message, the second property is token. And the first message is what? Is a string type. And the token is what? Is also string. And we are saying that compulsorily we have to see the message and the token. So that is the essence of required here. And that was how I was able to skeletally structure the response I needed for this particular endpoint. Of course, you can have schema validation for other endpoints too. But this was what we did yesterday. Another mistake we made yesterday was, initially we wrote this schema in resources and then later I moved it to another part. Taiwo, it's like we have issues with your microphone. You're welcome. Okay, so this
Sorry.
schema thing, I now had to drag it back to resources because we needed this as a resource and we are using it. We can easily access it if it's also here as a resource. So I dragged it down here as a resource and then we moved straight to do what? To do the schema validation. So yesterday, another thing that was of an issue was this duplicate thing. So if your username and password already exist in the database, you will not be able to do what to create this new resource. So I had to come up with something very funny here. You see that the method is still the same. We are still writing JSON schema factory equals to this dot new builder. So this is an inbuilt what? An inbuilt factory to rest assured. Okay, so this is an inbuilt factory and what we are doing here is to do what to instantiate it, and then so that we can make use of it, we are asking the JSON schema factory to what to get validation for us. So for this post endpoint which we explained yesterday, because we have done posts and we have done get, and then we are fine with it, but we wanted to do what? To validate schema. Because usually when you are testing your endpoint, schema validation is a very, very important aspect of it, and that was why we didn't want to jump this area. It's like saying that the response you are getting, is it exactly what you should get? Is the body of the response, is it giving the string you are expecting? Is it giving boolean that you're expecting? What exactly is it giving, right? So you will first of all, you will get your response, which is this, right? And then after that, you will validate against what? The schema. So this is all we have done. And then we were getting this error thing. So now it is passing just because I moved what? The schema back to where it can be easily accessed. Okay. So now it can be easily accessed here if I just pass it directly from the resource. So let's see. I think I've already created this username. I'm going to change this back to something. Let's say follow cat to somebody's username. And and then password is pass me plate. Then we call it. Okay, so I have pass me. Oh, let it be anything. Okay, so this is what we have now. Let's see how this response comes up. So we rushed over this yesterday. We couldn't get our response for this last test. So yeah, just let's see. Nothing was modified other than the schema JSON which we moved to where it can be accessible. Can you see you have successfully signed up, which is the normal response which we want? Yeah. And then we now decide to validate it, and of course it's passing. So guys, this is how you do what you test your what's the name? You validate your schema against the response you are getting, right? This is how exactly you do that. That is one thing. I think that is all about the rest assured. The video for it will be held during the week, and you can always follow up on the rest assured API automation. So today we want to look into other aspect of the TAF framework. I discovered that we still have a lot of things to fix with our test base. So looking at the test base here, the last time we used a what? A Chrome WebDriver. So we will do something that is a little bit generic that we can easily use, and also that we can also use for other browsers, not just Chrome browser, but Firefox, Edge, Safari, as the case may be. So I mentioned on the first day that there's something called the Web Browser Manager, if you recall. And I said we are going to add this when we are working on the framework itself. So how do you do that? It is part of a bundle called somebody say microphone is, let me just rescue the person now. Somebody's microphone.
Don't try it again. Put it here.
Is it Victor's microphone?
Please mute your mic. Oh.
Okay. Okay. uh So I think that's it. Let's see. Okay, so we said the web driver manager wanted to add it on day one, but we didn't want to go through the stress. So it comes with what we call the Bonnie Garcia. Now this is pronounced. You have to add this in your pom.xml. So when you add this in your pom.xml, it will give you access to. Why is this one giving me a long story? Mm, WebDriver Manager, Bonnie Garcia. Okay, let's go straight in. Yeah, this is it here. So we have to add this dependency to the to our POM XML. So if you come to this POM XML here, you can then add it, refresh so that it is installed. Reload so that it is installed. Yeah, I think that's basically all we need to add there. So after that, you go back to your test base. Let's see, this one installed, is indexing. Okay, yeah, it is done now. So you go back to your test base here, and then see that we are using Gecko driver, and this is locally installed. So in order to make this easy for anyone to pick up and run it with any browser, we make use of what? The driver manager. So you have to import it. You just added it to the POM. So we import. What do you import? How do we import it? IO dot. Look at it here. I think, is it showing here? Mm, they didn't put it on this page. Did they put it on the GitHub page? The GitHub I opened the other time. Should be here. Yeah, this is it here. So you import something like this here. import io.github.bonnie Garcia dot WDM WebDriver Manager. So that's what you need here, and then we can make use of it. So we have our WebDriver already here, and then we have the setup method, but I think we need to write a method and then add a conditional to say if you are using a Chrome, or if you are using a, what's the name now, a Firefox, or if you are using an Edge. So it will automatically detect which browser you are trying to execute with. Okay, so let's see. We have to rewrite this. I will just comment it out for now. So we have something called public static void. So instead of WebDriver setup, we can just call it setup. This should be just um doesn't need to be protected. Okay, publish static void setup. Okay, now under this setup, how should we write this? We can say depending on what browser you want, string browser. No, I'm not asking you to write it. Go back and remove. Okay. Okay, so string browser. If browser is Chrome, do what? Set it up for Chrome. If browser is Firefox, set it up for Firefox. If browser is Edge and so on, set it up. So I think that would be a better and generic way to initialize our browser. I think I like this one. Okay, it's almost the same thing as the other one. So if browser is Chrome, what do we do? WebDriver.ChromeDriver.setup, driver equals to new Chrome driver. If it is Firefox, we do the same thing. Then we can also do else if browser is Edge, right? Um, else if it is Safari, we do WebDriverManager, driver.safari, then else throw this. Now all of this in red. Let's see. Move test base to test root. Change test root. WebDriverManager. Move test page to. Didn't we initialize? Didn't we do this WebDriverManager well? Public WebDriver driver. What about the 8 problems? These 8 problems is from all of the tests that we have used these base tests for. So we will just correct this page, and then we won't have problem with our test, or we'll find a way to rework the test, but there won't be much issue. But we need to find out one thing right now. Hey, why am I having this? Really? Let's look at the pom.xml thing. The scope is test, right? I'm going to remove the scope. I think that's why it's asking me to push test base to test roots. Test roots. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's import this. We have not used Edge driver before now. What is this? Import now. Import. Import. Okay, now we are left with the driver thing that is red. Make test based on driver static. Test based on driver, of course, it is static. What are you saying? Make setup not static. Good. What other thing? There is no. Okay, so this edge related problem should come from target. Setup related problem in its result. Okay, from the test. Okay, fine. These are all coming from the test. So we have driver test base dot setup. Then okay, yeah, because it's taking in a parameter now. So apparently something should come in here. Or let me do it in a better way instead of setting it here. We can do something here and say add parameter add add parameters. Yep, browser name. Then I can make all of this like this, yeah, because we want it to be able to use every other browser, not just Chrome, and we don't want to download so many drivers. Right now we have a Chrome and we have a Firefox. We don't want to be doing mapping the path, so we can do something like this. Forget about this related problem. Let's come one by one to our test to see. Okay, so we have the test base just set up, and this here is what I'm extending from test base, right? Yeah, and my test base right now is somewhere here. Okay, so I have test, I have main, and I have test main. Good. And where is our test base? Okay, so I want to take it back. I want to take it back to somewhere. Let me somewhere here. Repackage. Say refactor to package. I think that should be org dot. What package should I be? QA fit factor. Right. So where is that? Okay, yeah. So it is here. See, I'm back to the same problem. No, 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 I'm not rolling back. I'm going to rebuild this because I don't want. I've already removed the scope from test. Or better still, let's rebuild this or recompile. Not generate now. Reload project. Reload project. Okay, reload project and okay. Okay, now that I've reload project, the error is gone. But I still have 8 related problems. That should be from my test. Okay, so let's see how we can manage this. So instead of using driver, I think I can just say test base dot setup and then I have Chrome. But that doesn't solve. Okay, non-static method setup cannot be referred from a static context. Okay. Voila. I don't want to put static there. What should I do? Okay, let's introduce static. Sorry, public static void. Static void. And what is this? Okay, let's come back here. Okay, so we have Chrome. And what's the error this time around? Shh. No, 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 no. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. First parameter from constructor, source demo page. Source demo page, source demo page. Okay, driver. We don't even have constructor on this page, do we? No. So, this equals to new source demo page. Oh, that should be our page object. This is a page object class. Let's go and check our page object class. So gradually solve this error. It is to move down. Come and block. Okay, there are 3 errors on this page. Okay, this was the one I was doing the other day. Test page, Chrome. What other error is left? Chrome setup, Chrome, Chrome. There's still one more error on this page. Okay, this one. I removed driver from there. I think that was what. But source demo page. these other ones. Okay, because very confusing lot. But I get it now. We no longer have errors. However, if I go to the base test, I think we still have one error there. The test base. Okay, I think it's for other test. It must be for other test. Let's check other tests. We have the demo login test. The demo login test has test base dot setup. Mm, 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 mm. Alright, I'm using Chrome. Okay, and one more error. You can say I'm using Chrome. Let's see if this Chrome works. You can test with other browsers later. Okay, these ones below here are what? Rest assured API tests that we did yesterday. We didn't use the driver for it because they are API test. Okay, two more related. Let's see what inside where the test source demo. Which of the files? Inside demo logouts. Demo logout. Inside here we have Chrome. Okay. And then inside what the other one? I think that's basically it. Then there's one more. Where is the one more? Let's see. Setup in org test base cannot be applied to, that's line 15. Okay, this is also a test. The Selenium web forms. Okay. So now we are done with all these errors, right? But there's still an error here. Okay, yeah, we are done. So let me see. I'm going to build this. Okay. What line is that? 55. Okay, that's our base test, right? Something about the parentheses. Okay. Let's build it again. Okay, now we are done with different we have done with what's the name now? Now we are done with what will I call it now? We're setting different browsers. Let's see, last week we pushed our suit. Let's see if we can execute the suit if it is going to run. We have a Testng suit here, in which we can execute almost all of the tests at once, or all of them. So let's see how this gets to execute. So in our test engine, another thing is we have to choose browser. Oh my god. Okay, I'm still running it. Anyway, let's see how we can do this. I have the test name. I have the class name. But I think in between the test and class should be parameter. Okay, yes. It's even giving me some suggestions. username, standard user, password, secret source, headless, false, screenshot on failure, true. Should I take all of this? Okay, so I can say browser Chrome for all of this test. I can do the same thing here. Wait, test name, class, test name. I have to write another test name. Hold on. Okay, this one is already executing, and it's doing that on Chrome, even without putting it as parameter at this thing. But of course, you can put the parameter there. So when this one finish executing or whatever, we can still add what kind of browser. Okay, yeah, because inside test we added Chrome to it. Yeah, so it will definitely pick the browser we put there in test. And you can also put the browser here. Moreover, these tests are failing. What is happening? Why are they failing? Okay, they are only launching. Let's see. They are not taking any actions. They are only launching the browser and stopping there. If that's what I can see here. Let's see why these tests are failing. They've been passing before now, and I don't think we touched the test. We did not touch the test, only. Okay. So all of our tests are failing. Let's see what. Okay, so the only change we made was did anyone even pass there? Get school. Oh, it's only our API rest assured that pass, Abby. One of our APIs passed. Interesting. Okay, that's not the point now. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Let's continue with the XML. I was trying to say something about the Testng XML. Where is it? Uh-huh. Yeah. Class name, and then I can end the class and the test and the test. Separate them as par separate test. Good. So I can do this and then start another one and say test name. Start another one, say test name. Parameter exactly like this one. Control copy. Okay. So this all one is seen as one test. Then there is this one that is seen as another old test. Test parameter class name. So I have classes. Mm, classes. And then the closing of the test. Good. So I have that. For the second test, for the third test which I have here, can also start it with test name, parameter, okay, and then classes, and then closing classes. Okay, and then test. It is already a closing testing. So we have this test suite having different kind of tests. Will help you to execute all your tests at once. Which one is this test name web form? Okay, yeah, there's still another one here. Web form parameter this. The web form does not have username and password, does it? And then what's the class? Yeah, that's the class. And then we have the test close. Okay, nice one. And then we have the suits. Okay. Now let's see what was the error. Oh, I didn't check the error messages when we executed those tests the other time. Okay, another thing I can do is for me to know what the error is, I will just run one of the tests. Test source demo add to cart. Let's see what the error is before we execute the suit. Okay, so now we should check where the error is coming from. Standard username cannot send the keys. Cannot invoke find element because the search context is no. Okay, so it should be something about the driver. It should be something about driver. The driver is not responding. Okay. Add to cart. Add to cart. We didn't use this mapping at all. Maybe because now we use what's the name now? We use the WebDriverManager. That's a possibility. Then we probably don't need let's see. This driver, yes, this driver, yeah. And we are extending test piece. Okay, so let's go back to the page object. The page object should be so. I'm going to comment all of this on public source demo. Extend demo mapping. Demo mappings. Extend demo mappings. I need this one. Driver. This going driver. Public source demo says extend this. There's no default constructor. Cannot resolve driver. Which one is this? This one is under what? This is a source demo page. Um, mm-hmm. What is the next? There is no default. Okay, fine. You want the default constructor? Let's see. This will resolve all the errors. But because we need a page factory. So page factory init driver, comma this. Okay. But now notwithstanding, let's execute that first test again and see what is going on. Which one was I trying to execute? I was trying to execute this. Okay. Okay. So, um, I expect it to make use of the, what's the name now? The one we just added to the test base, not our local Chrome driver. This one here, WebDriver and the WebDriver Manager. So, it's working now. Okay, so we have, let's see, we have resolved one of the tests. So this one of the tests is working. I think the test on this page should generally work now, from what I think, because we have worked on one of the page object classes, which is this source demo page. Let's see what is happening in, it should also work for this, because this page also uses the source demo page, if I am correct. Yes. And then this one also uses the source demo page. Now it is Selenium web forms we need to check why it's failing. Selenium web form mappings, we have let's follow the same way we implemented our mappings here. Our mappings just have this and then the page factory initialization. So let's see. So we'll remove this, and then we will have, sorry, we'll have this. Okay, we'll remove this one. So we remove this. Let's just remove it instead of just commenting it out. So we have is removed too. Removed. Page factory in it, and then yeah. So let's see the web form. This page here says this dot mappings equals to new. Okay, so we declared a mappings variable here. Okay, so why did we use mappings again on this page? I can't recall. Selenium mappings. Why did we use it then? I don't know if I should change it or if I should just leave it. Okay. This is demo page, right? Okay. Mappings, source demo mappings. No, not this one. We didn't use any mappings on this page to pick our elements. Now, but we used something different here. Yeah, this dot mappings. So this is what I will do. I am going to remove the. I hope it will not affect it, but it's not the best method. I will leave this to. Yep. And then let's see. Close up a lot of things open. Okay, so we have public void this, public void that, public void this, public void that, and public void this, public void that. Good. The only thing is the markets. Oh, I think I may know why now. But let's see. Message. Okay, so removing this one here. And then okay, I think it's because I did not extend it from the. Okay, so let's extend. Yes. I did not extend Selenium web form mapping. If oh shit. Okay, let's see. I extended this, right? Good. And then I add something like super. Let's see what we can do here. This one should have the page in it. Since it has the page in it, right? I can always just use super to inherit. I'm sorry, this is going to be, yep. And where is my driver? So I don't know what formatting does not have driver. What? Okay. WebDriver. Selenium web form mappings. Selenium web form mappings. Import Selenium web form mappings. Okay. Now one related problem. Yeah, inside the test. And what other problem? There's no other any other problem. Okay, so we don't have any other problem. We build this. Okay, then we can move over to the next thing I wanted us to do today. I think we have a solid test base now. Okay, after building now, I want us to execute the XML I created the other time. Where is it? The source demo XML. So the source demo XML. See if I can execute it. At least we should have no test was found. No test was found. Okay, is there really no test? Okay, maybe because why is there no test found? The test name? Would it have something to do with the test name? Because I can see that all the test is carrying, but that shouldn't be an issue. So the class name is what matters. Org dot this dot dem source demo login test, source demo logout test, web form test, and source add to cart test. Could it be because of the parameter we just added now? Because we only mentioned one parameter in our test. Okay, this is what I will do. I will comment out the remaining parameter. I think I mentioned only one parameter in our test base browser. So let's go back. We'll remove all of this. We'll remove all of this in order to know where the issue is coming from. We remove all of this. They were all suggestions anyway for me, but of course they always use it. It's for some of it's part of what you use. Parameter is part of your suit. Okay, so let's execute this and see. Two tests in the same suit cannot have the same name. Oh, okay, okay. So it wasn't the parameter issue. So it's actually not two tests. All of them carry the same name. So this is what I will do. I will call this one source demo add to cart. This one will be source demo login test. This one will be source demo logout test. And the last one would be test Selenium web form test. Okay. Is that the only thing? Two tests in the same suit. Something. Okay. Let's execute again. Okay, now we have our 11 tests trying their best to execute on the Chrome browser. So now that we are done with the base test, let's just want to see. Now that we are done with the base test, there's another thing I wanted us to look into today, and that is logging. They call something logging and reporting, but the logging aspect, we'll look at it today. And then maybe next week we talk about reporting, and we'll be done for this framework. Because this framework does not have a lot of test data, although we have test data, we can talk about the test data. Now, your test data usually falls under resources. So there are two things you can put under your resources. The first one is your test data, and the other one is your configuration files. your configuration files, your test data, and you can also create directories, like creating the suit XML. This is a directory, for example, where I plugged the suit XML in. So your resources is very important. It does not have to have just one resource. There can be so many resources here. Because under these resources here, you can create something called data properties file. You can say new, we want to create a test data that can be configurable. You say new file and call it, where is it? This thing is executing and it's just giving me problem. Okay, we are still having failed test though. Or is it because I'm closing it? Only one test passed. Add to cart. This add to cart passed. This one did not pass. This one passed. Input username. Standard user secret source. This one also did not pass. Input username. But this passed. Okay, we'll check why some of them are failing. We'll check them. Of course, this test passed on a normal day, right? It could be because of the way we have written our base test. I mean, our test base recently. Um, wait, wait. Okay, so we should have written it to exit. We didn't had exit in driver exit here or driver.quit here. That's why these instances remain open after they finish executing. And we should write it. Let's see if we can write it under test base here. So that test base here, you can say after test, after test. Tear down driver.quit. So this one we ensure that this browser is closed after running the test. Okay, so this is fine. Hold on. Okay, I still have my manage, maximize, minimize. Okay, this is fine. Okay, this is fine. Okay. So as this thing finished running, there are 3 tests that passed. Let's see. This one passed. That's source demo locked out user login. This API here and this test here. While others failed. Element not interactable. Element not interactable. Which one is this? Okay, yeah, don't get title. Because we are not using this driver again. So maybe we can say maybe we can say, how should we put it? Or we can as well just remove it entirely. Which ones are these yellow ones? Assertion error. Okay. Assertion. Okay, this one is API. Of course, it is going to give error because we need a unique username and password. Okay, this one is fine. What other thing? Click lockout button. What happened to this one? It got to the last step and then it failed. Why? Because let's see the reason. The reason is because the element is not interactable. It's not interactable. Okay. And then element is not interactable, so and then this one get title. And let's find the way to rewrite get title. And then we have okay. You can as well remove this one. Okay. Looking at this here, it looks as if some of this we inspected them well. So we expect that these things okay, web element export find by okay. Yeah. Okay, I was saying something the other time because I'm looking at the time. I don't want us to waste too much time today. Create and create this time around. You should be able to close the browser as soon as it is done executing. That's what you should do. So I was saying something about your resource. I said in your resource here, you can add some configurable test data here. You can like we call them properties file. You can create something like say test data dot properties. So this is how it will look like when you create test data dot properties. It will look exactly like a configuration file. Look at it here. See these lines that shows like a statistics. So this kind of file now, you can have a whole list of a lot of test data inside of it. And then you can be making use of those test data, right? So that's the essence of what test data. And then you can also, apart from suits, creating a suit directory, you can create some configuration files. Look at it here. I can decide to say new file and call it um configuration files are also dot properties file properties so and so on, right? So these are things that you can actually I don't even know why I created this one yesterday. Let me delete it. So I have the test suite, the configuration properties, the schema, the JSON, the test data properties, and so on. Depending on how large the project is and how large the suite is, these are things that you can do. But today we wanted to just make sure that our test base can execute on any other browser, and also that we deal with login. So let's quickly look at log4j. Why this one is executing? There's something called log4j for login. Log4j. Log4j. We call it Apache log4j. It has a certain configuration that you have to to do on your system. I mean on your project. You have to follow that configuration. Yeah, this is the configuration file. Actually, I'll just click on configuration file directly. Okay, let me click on getting started. Uh, okay, so you of course you also have dependency that you have to. I thought I closed this thing. Did we do quit after test? We did now. Or maybe let's see. Okay, I didn't call the tear down. I did not call the tear down. Okay. I think that's why. But if you had just written no usages, can you see? Ah, God. So I can say at after test, yeah. After test. Already written it. That will be that will be test page. No. Yes or no fly. Mm. Or I can actually say, oh God. Okay, there is a pop-up that is blocking this thing on Chrome. Maybe that's why it is failing. Should we put Firefox there? I just noticed that everything is always having pop-up and it cannot proceed. Look at it. This is my browser pop-up that we encountered the last time. So I will do something because we can't just conclude that it is the test that is failing, blah blah blah. So let's just put our browser to to what now? Firefox or Safari. I think I have Safari on this system. So let me see if Safari will work. Safari. Let me remove this first. I will test only one. Okay, this one has been working since. Let's test one of the failed ones. Safari. This one is one of the failed test cases. Okay, so while we are doing that, I still want us to continue. So we had this dependency, Apache login log4j. So let's see. Log4j. So we can have log4j core and log4j API. What's this one say? Could not start any session, response code 500. Could not create a session. You must enable something automation, developer session on Safari setting. Okay. I think this is because of the Safari setting browser. Really? Is there something I need to enable here for it? Developer session. Okay. I will look into it, not today. Meanwhile, we need to execute this test. So let me use Firefox. Firefox. I don't usually use Safari for testing anyway. So if there's a setting on developer tools that I need to do, I think I have to do something for it to execute on Safari. Okay, now it is executing on Firefox. Voila, it passed. So my theory is right. It is that pop-up that is affecting all of our tests. So if I decide now to put Firefox in all of the tests and execute that suit again, then we just might have a very good, at least maybe 90% pass or 80% pass or something, which is good. Can do the same thing for this. Okay, this one's an API. And then for this, and then for, I have just one test under this one. For this. And then I can come here. See that there are two projects, and I put all of the two projects in one suit. Yeah, that's what makes it a robust framework, because now you can run a lot at once, a lot of test cases at once. So let's see. Where is it again? Where is the suit? The suit is somewhere here. Let's execute the suit again. Oh, I didn't change the parameter. Okay. The tests browser should take precedence over whatever you put in the suit though. So, or is it? Yeah, it's executing on Firefox just the way I think it should. Okay, so we have still not undo the quit thing. I was trying to do this part earlier. Tear down. Okay. Tear down. Guys. I'll come back to it. Let's go back to our log4j. So I said there is the API, yes, there's log4j API, and there's log4j core. Why is this thing giving me this log4j core? Anyway, let me go straight to MVN Maven and see if I can just get the dependency straight off from Maven. So I have log4j, log4j, log4j core. Beta alpha. This is central. Let me just use this one. Okay. Log4j core, we had this one to the POM. 8 out of 11 passed. You see, this is a good number. So I won't be going back to re-execute this again. Yeah. So, this one is API test. Okay. So let's go to the pom.xml, and then I can add this dependency here. We have the log4j, and then there is the API, log4j core, log4j API. This is here. I'll use this one because it has so many usages. Copy. Okay, now can refresh. Nice one. Okay. What is the Selenium web form field? What happened to them? All of them. Okay, maybe because of the mapping I removed earlier. Because I remember that it was difficult making those elements work. But we will look into it, not now. We don't really have the time. Okay, so this is log4j API. Right. We have done that. So now the next thing to do is implementation. So how do you implement this? So we have added all of these ones here. There is a configuration file. Go back. Configuration file. So there is a configuration file which we usually just set up within our framework. It's an XML. Of course, you can use JSON too, but I think I've always been using XML. And it is an XML, not necessarily XML. So there is the XML, there's the JSON, there's the YAML, and and so on. So yeah, so let's use this log4j tool. If I click on this, it will take me to where it is implemented. So I need this entire configuration file, which I'm going to copy now. This entire thing here. So this is usually created inside the resource also. So I have, so I can just directly create log4j2.xml. Let's see. New file. I call it log4j2.xml. Okay. Look at how XML looks like now. So this is me posting it here. I have so you can modify this to what you want exactly. SML, and I don't really like this thing. XMLN, or just XML version, simple. I don't know why it's giving yeah. SML version is enough. SML version. Okay, let's just see. I start this with XML version coding. Then configuration. I can remove this. Don't know why it's giving error. Okay, I can use this. I can remove this also. I'll remove the whole of this. Next should be followed by appenders. But why is appender also? Okay, configuration, yeah, HTML should be here. No, okay, configuration is not. Why am I having error? Attribute console. Console is a console name. 13 errors. Expected line 6. Let's recopy this thing. Let me do it again. Maybe I've tampered with something here. Guy. XML. Oh, XML. Okay. Then 2 errors. URL is not registered setting. Then I can remove it. That was what I tried removing. Okay. Cannot resolve 5. I also removed this. And I think after removing this, that was when I got the error. So I can just say this. Okay. I could actually do log4j. Okay. But I still have error. Cannot resolve. Okay. Schema location. By the way, why do I need all of this anyway? I could simply just leave it as yes. Okay, father. Okay, so we have something like this. Appenders, console, whatever. Then the loggers. The loggers are important. The loggers. No, this is just configuration files. You don't really need to bother your head. You just need to make sure that the configuration is well done, and that's all. I have not done anything much other than removing some set of lines that were buggy or something. So I have my log4j2. Now this will print your log to the console, and it will also save it to where should we save it to now? I know it's always saving it somewhere. Yeah, I think it will create it itself. Now, when we want to now use this, right? I think it will automatically create a directory where it will save the logs to. So let's go to our test base again, base test. And so in your base test, you have to configure the loggers such that every time you execute your test, you can then add the logger to every test, right? So if we extend the test base in the test, then it will help to what to log in the console. Yeah. Instead of using system.out print line that I've been using, you just use the logger to log what to the console straight off. So I have my WebDriver here. Why is my WebDriver static anyway? Then I can see public. What is the logger again? I have not imported. I need to import. So when you add it to your form like that, is all you still need to import. Just put this. Import. Do I remember? Import org Apache. It's somewhere here. Thought I saw it somewhere here. The import. Okay, let's do it. Let's yeah, I think it was from getting started. It's from getting started. I think it should be Hawk Apache though, because that was where we downloaded. Okay, yeah, see the configuration file here too. Implementation usage, didn't put usage here. Okay, let's try it out. Import org Apache login log forging log manager or logger. Okay, now if you have the logger, you can now come here to do what to say public static logger. Yeah, logger equals log public logger. Okay, because log manager. So I can say log manager dot get logger. This is good. Okay, so I have public logger equals to log manager dot get logger. So when you now want to use your logger, you can say after this is before test, right? This before is your test engine before method do this, and here I can say logger. Good. It is red. Make database.logger static. Make database.logger static. Okay, this one here. Interesting. Okay, so I have logger, that is, log this info to the console. There's another way we can also put logger. You can also put it in your test, right? So let's see. I was writing something here. I think the reason it did not work is because I used the wrong thing here. Tear down if driver is no, driver.quit, and then say um, say the driver is the browser is closed. Okay, now we can go to our test base here. I mean, our test itself. We can go to our test here and say, when you click on maybe after login button, you can say logger dot info. Should we do it that way? Okay, logger dot. There is info, there is log, there is debug, there is what other thing? Log message. We don't really have some log message. Let me just say info. So we can test this out. Let's test this particular test. Say add to cart. Let's see if this logger works. Okay. Let me also see if the browser will close. Let's close this up like this. Oh, I closed it. What? Okay. Oh, I changed something to static in my test base. Parameter browser is required by before method to set up but has not been marked optional or defined. Mm. Mm. Okay. This one here. This is why. Age-related problems. Next page. The logger. Okay. Info. Setting up. Okay. Next page dot dot driver. There's something. Driver manage get title. This was the get title thing that was filling. But that's not the point. The point is the browser. So test base dot setup. Test base dot setup dot I can access it. Another thing I can do is I can say Firefox. Will this fly? Well, let's check. No, there are some related problems. Oh, yeah, I have to correct every other one. Okay. Let's see. Let's try to correct every other one. All right. Let's restart. I'll just copy this and replace it everywhere. Okay, now this is the last part we are doing today, and then we are calling it a day, a weekend day. Where's my test? Test. Okay, test. Test. Okay. Now, shall we execute this test again? Add to carts. We are trying to check this logger. Or where was I trying to check the logger? Yeah. Let's see. JSON template. Parameter browser is required by before method and method setup but has not been marked optional. Parameter method. Ah, okay. I think I remember that one. Okay. Browser. Let's try again. Optional. How do we write this optional thing again? Okay, let's do something. We can go to the test and do it there. Hello, am I still in class? Is everyone is still here?
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
Okay, good. So let's go to our test and see. Okay, at test. Sometimes at test it. Okay, this is it here. Priority one groups. Let me first add this here like this. Priority one groups, smoke regression, I don't care. Description, I don't care. No, optional. I think there's optional there. Optional equals to true, enabled, timeout, thread base, always run data provider. Yeah, we have not talked about data provider in this class. Actually, it is more advanced. So, optional equals to true. We want the browser. Another thing I can do is to remove it from. Let's remove it for now. But I know you can make it optional in the test, even when you have made it compulsory in the base test. I will think about it. Or by next week we can. No, we leave this one here like this. Okay, so where is this error coming from? Is that the error? 14. Expected equals to and like 14. What other equals to are you looking for? Okay, yeah, this optional thing does not is okay. So I will go back to the test page, and for now I'm going to remove this. I need to make it optional cancel. And there's a way we do it. I've forgotten that part. Okay, so let's execute this. Main arrow file contains an invalid element of attributes. This is template layout. Which one is that? Okay, you are sure trying to tell me that I should not use before method. Okay. Okay. 0. Build and recompile. Build and recompile. Okay, so let's run it again. JSON template layout, which is number 17. Is this the thing stopping my test? Oh, don't tell me this is what is stopping my test. Run again. Okay, because I can't get the title yet without going through the base test. So basically this line is supposed to come after supposed to come maybe after it has gotten to maybe login or something. Maybe after login or so. Then you can get the page title. Let me see if it will get the page title. I don't know if that line is wrong or not wrong. Okay, basically the line is not wrong really. It's just that you cannot get the page title as at the beginning of the test steps, so it's not possible to get page title when it has not even launched the browser. Yeah, this is it actually launches in the setup. Okay, so where is our logger? Is this the logger that is saying main error file contains an invalid element? And what is the invalid element? Logger.info login button clicked. He didn't say that. Let's remove this. Okay, so keep showing main error file. What is the error? Oh, not sure we have any error in this. Debug log. I know we may not have them exactly. Let me see. Let me see if I can update this thing a little. I have console. Main file name log/main log. Okay. And can also add logger to my Testng, can't I? Oh. This test is closing the browser now, isn't it? It is. I'm not sure if I checked it this one. Let me run this. Logger dot logger dot let's do something like this. And then execute this. Okay, there's a problem with our configuration template. There's a problem with our configuration template because normally I asked it to log something to the console now, and it's basically logging error, right? Then 24 to 27 something. Main error file contains an invalid element or attribute JSON template layout. So where is it? JSON template layout. That's our log 4J. That is this place. Hmm. Do, do, do. Normally it should be inside our okay, let's modify this. Appenders console name. There's no other thing here. Console pattern layout pattern file name. Let me see if I can get a sample a sample log 4J using console. Okay. Okay. I'll copy this. I think I can use this. Okay, guys, let's see. This should not have any error. Okay. Oh, I didn't build this. Okay, let's just execute it. Can you see? Can you see what is even logging in the console even before it executed? So this is exactly what I was expecting in my console, not the other error template it was bringing out. See, setting up test environment for browser, which I put here, using WebDriverManager 6.1.0, resolution, Firefox, blah, blah, blah. Give information about the driver that it is using. Gecko driver is button, WebDriver, Gecko, something. Browser closed successfully. And then I have my configuration, right? So this basically just saves, I think it will save the report somewhere. Where did I ask it to save it? The report is supposed to be auto-generated. Yeah, look at it here. All.log. This is all the logs. No, so everything we've done today is just basically what logs. So on next week Saturday we will talk about reporting.